Jorginho is coming out as one of Arteta's best signings. When you think that we paid 12 million for him, people are going, is he pound for pound one of the best? So I wanted to actually ask this question. And I've got here my top 5, actually I've got my top 6, sorry, Arteta signings, pound for pound. So what we spent for them to what we're getting in terms of performance, these are my top 6 under Mikel Arteta, and Jorginho's performance made me think about it. But it's not just Jorginho, it's someone else as well. So here they are. Gabriel Magalhaes, I've got as number 1 for £27 million, always available. He is, for me, one of our best players. The form he's in at centre-back, really hard role to play in a team that press so high up the pitch. At £27 million, he, for me, is our pound-for-pound best signing under Mikel Arteta. But Martin Odegaard at 35 million comes close. Ben White for 50 million, again, always available, can play centre-back, right-back, can overlap, can invert. He's just absolutely brilliant. I know 50 million is still a lot, but I have him up there as a third pound-for-pound best. Now, you might think I'm crazy. I've got Declan Rice as 4th. And I know we spent £105 million for him, but always available, can play centre-back, holding midfield, can play as a box-to-box. And he's just unbelievable. For me, he's world-class. So I don't care that we spent 105 million. I think 150 million would have been value for money as well. He's been unbelievable, and I have him there in the top 4. And they've got Leandro Trossard at 27 million and Jorginho at 12 million. Because when you look what you paid for them and the quality they bring to this team, mainly as squad players, but when they do come in, they're brilliant. I've got them as my top 6 Arteta signings, pound for pound. But there's another person in this who, for me, is one of Arteta's best ever signings, and some might argue is best, probably not, because I think you always got to look at what they do on the pitch, but it's Nicolas Jover. Nicolas Jover has been one of the best pieces of recruitment that Mikel Arteta and Arsenal have done since the start of the Arteta reign in December 2019. And I want to show you why. Let me just give you a little bit of a story of Arteta's staff. We've got it here. The date of arrival for some of these key players in Arteta's staff. We've got Albert Stuyvenberg, Iñaki Kanya and Steve Round all arrived in December 2019. Now, Steve Round has since left, but we know he was a key part of Arteta's team. They all arrived pretty much the minute Arteta walked through the doors. Now, in his first summer, he got to bring in a few others. Carlos Cuesta, Andreas Jorgensen and Miguel Molina all arrived in August 2020. And Andreas Jorgensen, if I'm not mistaken, was actually the set-piece coach at first. He came in from Brentford, was only here a year before leaving, and then in July 2021, Nicolas Jover arrived. So Arsenal had a good 18 months with their staff before Nicolas Jover came in. I think he was at Man City before, and Arteta brought him in. I'm not sure his official title is actually like head of set piece. I think it's technical something, technical coach maybe, but he works on set pieces, and you can see whenever Arsenal get one, he's on his feet, he's on the touchline, he's clearly instructing, and he celebrates those set piece goals more than any. I saw a tweet saying that apparently Arsenal fans in the ground are celebrating set pieces and winning corners like their goals, because Arsenal becomes so unbelievably effective from them, and the numbers back it up. Let me show you here that this season in the Premier League, Arsenal ranked first for 18 set play goals, third for set play XG, and fifth for set play shots as well. They also ranked 5 for set play goals against. So in terms of goals conceded from set plays, they have the third best defensive record on set pieces, ranking first as well for XG against and shots faced from set play situations. It is unbelievable set of numbers from Arsenal. They're not just really good at attacking set pieces, they're defending them brilliantly, and you've got to give so much credit to Nicolas Jover and Mikel Arteta for bringing him in, and whoever else had to part, whether it's Edu, whoever had to part to play, and getting Nicolas Jover to the club. He is having a massive impact on Arsenal when it comes to set pieces, and the numbers are there. But there's more numbers. Let me show you Arsenal's set piece goals and their Premier League rankings in previous seasons. In the 3 full seasons we've had Nicolas Jover, we've been first, fourth and third for set-piece goals. If you look at the 3 seasons before that, 18th in the 2021 season, 8th in the 19-20 season, and 6th in the 18-19 season. So you can see immediately the impact. We've been in the top 4 for set-piece goals since the arrival of Nicolas Jover. And you can see it there, an immediate impact, and Arsenal getting a lot of credit and a lot of flowers for it this season, which is great, but it's actually, since the day he walked in, Arsenal have been so much improved in this area. And it's really important that Arsenal are. This isn't something that we should just brush over, because the biggest and best clubs who have competed for the best things, the Man City, the Liverpools of this world, they've been recognising for a while that actually set pieces is a massive weapon. In a world where it's really difficult to break teams down sometimes, in a world where it can be really frustrating trying to play against low blocks, and just passing and moving and trying to underlap and trying to work your way into the box isn't always going to work out when you're going to win a lot of set pieces, because you are probing, you are getting shots at goal, you are forcing saves and corners and deflection. You've got to therefore be effective from it. I always liken set pieces to an ace in tennis. It's just a free point. It's a free attempt. It's a way of just going outside of the usual way of winning points. There's another way of doing it, and with goals, set pieces can be a massive weapon. And I also recognise that, along with City and Liverpool, this is a massive weapon that they've got to take more advantage of, and they're certainly doing that. Let me show you the highest scorers from set pieces in the Premier League seasons. We look at the last three with Arsenal, Everton, Newcastle and City in the top four this season. You look at last season, Liverpool, Tottenham, Brentford and Arsenal all in there as well. And then the season before that, City, Liverpool and Arsenal. The better teams are taking this really, really seriously. If you go back to the 16-17 season and the 2 seasons before that, look at some of the teams in this list. I mean, Chelsea are up there, sure, they won the league, but then West Brom, Swansea and West Ham. The season before that, Tottenham, West Ham, Liverpool, Sunderland, and the season before that, Palace, West Brom, Arsenal and Chelsea. So not all teams have always taken, or let's say the very best who are going for the title and, finishing the top 4 year in, year out, they haven't always been taking set pieces really seriously. It's actually normally been seen as like a kind of cheap tactic used by sides that part the bus and want to be sturdy, and they want to get cheap goals because they're not going to play and go punch for punch with other teams, so they're relying on set pieces. It's not become that anymore. It's become a weapon that clubs like Liverpool, City and Arsenal are taking very, very seriously, and they're reaping the rewards, and you can see it there in the numbers. They are, like I said, cheap goals, but not cheap in a lot of hard work goes into them. Like Gabriel, Saliba, the work they do, Ben White, blocking players, Havertz getting into good positions as well as some other players in there. Our taller players, Declan Rice, taking some brilliant set pieces since he was put on them post Dubai. And the work of Nicolas Jover. When I say cheap, I'm not saying it's easy. It's not easy. But I just mean it's like one cross and goal. An unchallenged cross into the box, and you get to attack it. You get to freely attack it. That is a really good thing that Arsenal have taken advantage of, and I think it's great to see. So, it goes back to my earlier question. I gave you there my pound for pound best Arsenal signings, but Nicolas Jover, of course, you wouldn't pay a transfer fee, I imagine, comes in, you put him on a contract at Arsenal. Has he been one of Arteta's best ever appointments or signings at the club? I think undoubtedly. So let's show some love to Mikel Arteta, of course, but to Nicolas Jover in the comments section below, because he absolutely deserves it. And I just want to say a really big thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, actually hit the links right here to watch more content like this, including my Football First podcast, which drops every Monday to Friday at 6 AM. And I know it's annoying, I am really sorry to have to ask, but if you want to show support to the channel, hitting the like and subscribe buttons help promote the content much more than you could possibly know. Thanks again.